Welcome to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support for when the divorce process has finished. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics related to post-divorce. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of life after divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we are going to, take on a question many of us face, and that is buying a home or renting after the divorce is finalized. Now, it is a big decision, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But fret not, because by the end of this episode, you'll have a clearer roadmap for making the choice that's right for you. So let's break it down. First, take a deep breath and acknowledge the emotional weight that comes with this choice. I mean, divorce can leave you feeling uprooted, and the idea of putting down roots again might be a little scary, and that's okay. Give yourself permission to explore both options with a clear head. We're going to start with, being practical with the finances. Grab a pen and paper because we're going to dive into your financial situation. List your current income, any spousal maintenance or child support you receive, and existing debts on the books. Be honest with yourself about your spending habits and how much you can comfortably afford for housing each month. Now, when we look at owning a home, the dream of home ownership can be quite powerful. Building equity, potential tax benefits, and the freedom to personalize your space are all attractive. However, remember, a down payment and closing costs come with buying most of the time. There's also ongoing maintenance of the property taxes, and unexpected repairs that really constrain your budget. Renting, on the other side, might offer flexibility. If you're unsure about your future location or perhaps a career path, a lease can provide breathing room. Plus, you're not responsible for repairs. However, you won't build equity, and rent prices can fluctuate, impacting your long-term financial stability. Beyond our finances, though, we want to think about your lifestyle. Do you crave stability and the ability to put down roots? Is yard work your idea of bliss? Or would you rather spend your weekends exploring the city? If you have children, consider their needs too. Do they require a backyard or a specific school district? And then keep in mind, you really have some time. You don't have to rush into this decision. If you're unsure, considering rent, just consider renting for a while. And this can give you time to heal emotionally, solidify your financial footing, and really get some clarity on your future plans. You can also seek, the help of a financial advisor or realtor. They can provide valuable insights based on your unique situation. Now, there's no right or wrong answer. The best choice is really the one that aligns with your financial situation, lifestyle goals, and emotional well-being. Take your time, weigh the pros and cons, and trust your gut. Remember, this is your new chapter, and you have the power to write it exactly how you want. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. All the best. Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. And I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. Today, our topic is really all about celebrating special occasions after the divorce is final. Let's face it, holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, they can feel like a minefield after a breakup. But guess what? You can still celebrate and create new traditions that bring joy and meaning to your life. We're going to start with kind of like reframing the narrative. And by shifting our perspective, special occasions aren't just about past relationships. They're about celebrating life, family, and the people who matter most. Maybe it's your child's birthday, a friend's graduation, or simply a beautiful spring day. Find joy in the occasion itself and let that be the driving force of your celebration. Now we look at some creative solutions when it comes to kids. If you have children, communication with your ex-partner is definitely key. Discuss co-parenting options that allow your kids to celebrate with both parents. You can split the day, host separate parties, or even celebrate on different weekends. The most important thing is for your kids to feel loved and supported. Now let's talk about you. Surround yourself with loved ones who make you happy. Invite close friends, family members, or even create a chosen family of supportive people. Heck, you can host a potluck dinner, plan a fun activity, or simply have a movie night in. Remember, celebrations don't have to be extravagant. It's the company and the good vibes that really make it count. And then we got a chance here to create some new traditions. So take a solo trip if you haven't. Try a new hobby you've always wanted to explore. Or just volunteer because it's a cause you care about. Embrace the freedom to personalize how you mark special occasions. These new traditions will become cherished memories for years to come. Don't underestimate the power of self-care. If you need a quiet night to really recharge, honor that feeling. Go with it. Take a relaxing bath, read a good book, or simply enjoy some peace and quiet. Divorce may change how you celebrate, but it doesn't have to steal the joy from special occasions. Focus on what truly matters to you. Perhaps the people you love, the experiences you share, and the creation of new, happy memories. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to leave a comment or contact me using my information. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Take care. Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's topic is life insurance. Really, it's a complex issue that often gets muddled after divorce. So we're going to untangle it and see how it might play a role in your next chapter. So when we look at life insurance after divorce, really, it can be a financial safety net providing a payout to beneficiaries upon policyholders' death. But after a divorce, things get complicated. So we got some things we got to consider. And we're going to want to review those existing policies. So we're going to take stock of the existing policies and we're going to look at when they were purchased, whether they were purchased during the marriage and might be considered marital property depending on your state laws, or if you pick this up after your divorce. So life insurance can have cash value. It's possible if you have the right life insurance policy. So if it has the cash value, and that's where money builds up over time, this value could be subject to division in the divorce settlement. And then you got the beneficiary. So most importantly, you want to see who that beneficiary is listed as. If it's your ex-spouse, you'll need to update it to reflect your new reality. You generally cannot keep your ex-spouse as a beneficiary unless your divorce agreement specifies this. And that is common. Do you still need coverage on your ex? Well, there are situations where you still need life insurance coverage on your ex-spouse, and that could come into play when we look at things like spousal maintenance or child support. So if you're receiving spousal maintenance or child support, a court order, might order your ex to maintain a life insurance policy with you as the beneficiary. And this ensures continued financial support for you and your children in case of their untimely death. You got shared debts as well. So if you have outstanding joint debts, life insurance on your ex can help cover their portion should they pass away prematurely. Now let's talk about your own life insurance needs after divorce. And here's why it might be important. So you got financial security for your dependents. So if you have children, life insurance ensures that they'll be financially supported if you die unexpectedly. And then there's the debt protection. So life insurance can also pay off any outstanding debts, preventing a financial burden on your loved ones. And then you got the peace of mind, knowing that your loved ones are protected, can have, and provide invaluable peace of mind. You're going to want to tailor your coverage, though. When considering your own policy, think about the factors like your income, dependents, and existing debts. Speak to a financial advisor to determine the appropriate coverage amounts and policy types, and pick their brains on what's the best way to take a look at everything. So, life insurance after divorce requires careful consideration. You want to review those existing policies, update beneficiaries as needed, and determine if you need your own coverage for financial security. Remember, it's about protecting your loved ones and your future well-being, because after you pass, it's not you who will be getting the money. It's for those you left behind. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to leave me a comment or contact me. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we know, it is the start of your next great chapter. All the best. Hello and welcome to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today is a Mike Unscripted day. So there's no outline, there's no details or anything here that I don't want to miss or leave out. This is more off the cuff and me just, sharing some thoughts on a topic. And today's topic that we're going to hit on is being independent and confident. And going through the divorce process and coming out the other end, I felt, a little bit of a reset needed to take place in my personal situation. And I think that's fairly common with most people, especially, if you're the parent moving out. I mean, you've got no choice but to be independent, kind of thing. But you also need to take charge and be confident in that independence. So what are some things, that come to mind that you can do and such? Well, one is just one step at a time, one day at a time, getting on your feet in the beginning, getting adjusted to your new environment if you happen to be the spouse that moved out, and really embracing the opportunity of having the freedom. Being single is not a terrible thing. Even if you're a single parent, it's not a terrible thing. If you're the parent that moved out, it's not a terrible thing. Being independent is all about you get to make all the choices. There's no having to think of really anybody else but yourself in that situation. And I think you start off small, whether it's meals, it's exercise, it's starting a new routine of some kind, it's work, it's just any other changes you might want to implement. You start small, and as you become proficient, let's say, your confidence will likely increase. And so you'll start to gain more confidence and more self-esteem, if you will, for what you have going on. And that's important because after divorce, especially if you have kids, you want them to see you in your best light. It may not be what they saw in the marriage because of how the marriage was as a relationship. But being independent, you get to show them that, hey, I was an equal part of the relationship too. I can make decisions on my own. I can do things that you need done. And I'm here as your mom or dad. No different than when we all live together. So I think you want to be able to portray that kind of confidence to your kids to let them know that, hey, even if things don't work out, that's all right. You'll be okay. Look at me. I'm okay. Doesn't mean you have to particularly like the situation. It's just life, and that's where you're at. So part of it is moving on, letting go, and being the best version of you. I always like that saying. I know it's said a lot by a lot of different people, but really that's what you're working on, is the best version of you. So being independent and confident, I think, is one of those best versions. Allows you stepping stones to other places because you'll probably try new things. You'll meet new people. Life will go a direction that perhaps you didn't even anticipate. So that's going to do it on today's episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I hope you like this edition of Mike Unscripted. Should you have any questions, I say it all the time, leave a comment, reach out. I'm happy to help. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, have yourself a good day. Hello, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today we're talking about support groups. It's a powerful resource for healing and growth after divorce. Many of us know that divorce can really leave you feeling isolated and adrift. You might be dealing with a whirlwind of emotions like sadness, anger, confusion. And that's where support groups come in. You want to find your tribe. Support groups connect you really with others who understand exactly what you're going through. They're a safe space to share experiences, vent your frustrations, and gain valuable insights from people who have, say, walked similar paths. Now, there are many types of support groups available, both in person and online. You can find groups specific to your needs, whether, you're a man, a woman, looking for a group that's navigating complex financial situations. They've got a group pretty much for you. And you're going to do some research on that group so that you feel like it actually resonates with you. Now, the benefits of support groups are quite numerous. We're going to look at a few key ones right here. And one is validation. Sharing your story with others who get it. It can be incredibly validating. Now, you'll realize you're not alone. And that really can be a huge weight lifted off your shoulders. You can learn coping strategies from experiences of others. Group members can share tools and techniques for managing common challenges like co-parenting, financial stress, or dealing with loneliness. And then there's witnessing others overcome obstacles. And that can be incredibly inspiring. It can give you the strength and motivation to face your own challenges with a newfound sense of empowerment. And lastly, you can forge some new connections. Sometimes divorce can lead to a void in your social circle. Support groups offer the opportunity to build new friendships with people who understand your journey. Now, we want to get the most out of our time, right? So here are some tips for really looking at support groups and getting the most out of the experience. You got to be open and honest. The more you share, the more you'll get out of the group. However, always respect the boundaries of others. You want to listen actively. You'll learn from the experiences of others and offer support in return. And then you got to find a group that feels right. If one group doesn't click, try another. The most important thing is finding a safe, supportive environment where you feel comfortable. Remember, support groups are just one piece of the puzzle. Consider individual therapy as well. It can provide a safe space to unpack your specific experiences and work through deeper emotional challenges. Divorce can be tough, but you really don't have to go through it alone. Support groups offer a powerful source of strength, connection, and hope. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic or other financial planning issues, feel free to leave them in a comment or contact me. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I know, it is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, have a good day.